Rainbow in the dark, found a way through, carried every token like a message from you. No more broken tunnels, just a path that stays, trustless, tireless, running night and day. Aurora engine, heart of a storm, turned old code loose in a newborn form. Plug in your vision, hit deploy. One click later, you're alive on day. Oh, all the memes said do yours, so we drove a little more. Under every single joke was a battle plan. Raise your hands through the aurora. Watch it light the chains tonight. From near times it runs the border, bringing every dream inside. From the bridge into the future, where the thieves cut clean and true. This is more than just a network, it's a promise shining through. We stacked our homes like blocks in the
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday and welcome to this week's Alpha Leaks. I hope you've all had a good week. We've got quite a lot to get through today. As you know, last week I announced that this week we would be sharing the vision for Q2 and also going over some of the changes we're going to be making across Aurora and the products that we currently own and run. In addition to that, we'll obviously be announcing more on the upcoming features, and we also have the founder of Near Mobile, Farhan, who will be joining us later on to talk about what they're doing over there and the recent integration of the Near Intents widget on their website. So before I go into kind of the standard updates, what are we doing in Q2 and what changes are we going to make that you're going to notice from today? Well, you guys will know from, multiple Alpha Leaks now that I've been talking quite heavily on Aurora's pivot and focus towards cross-chain capability and towards really leveraging Near Intents to provide extremely valuable tools for builders. And that's something we're going to be doubling down on in Q2. But we obviously have a lot of technology and a lot of products that we've been maintaining and running in parallel with that. And one of the big things that we were focusing on during our Q2 strategy meeting a week ago was how we can really prioritize and how we can really focus and how we can ensure maximum success for Aurora, its builders, and its community. So with that in mind, there are going to be some changes which will allow us to really double down on the vision that I'm going to be sharing with you momentarily. The first key thing, of course, is Calyx. Now, Calyx was actually arguably one of the first products that was built on top of Near Intents, right? A multi-chain launchpad that allows any project to raise funds from 21 plus different networks. And we had a few launches that took place at the end of Q4, and then of course we saw the downturn in the market. Now throughout Q1, we were speaking with our launch projects. We were also looking at the market. And one of the things we've realized is with the current volatility and with the current drop across the marketplace, most projects that we would want to launch just aren't practical or feasible at this time, right? The risk for those projects is substantial. Even if they are a fantastic and solid project, the market conditions are simply pushing them down. And, one of the things I was keen to avoid was to ensure that we weren't just leaving a platform open-ended, and that's kind of where we were starting to get to. So we've made the decision internally that we're going to be pausing Calyx as a product and as a launchpad until such a time where market conditions improve and until such a time where Calyx really kind of aligns more closely with the vision that we're pushing. Now, that doesn't mean it's being shut down. It doesn't mean it's disappearing. Obviously, a lot of wallet holders hold assets on there. And a lot of people obviously using it for swaps as well. So that will, of course, remain. It will be live. You'll be able to see it, but we won't be launching any new projects on it, for the foreseeable future. Now, from there, we also have our virtual chains. Now, the virtual chains have been the bedrock of Aurora for the last, 3 years, ever since we launched Aurora Cloud. And Aurora Cloud will be remaining available on the website, but what we will be doing is slightly tightening, the accessibility for it to ensure that we're only spending time onboarding projects that already have a significant use case for the chains, or of course, projects that are going to be leveraging near intents. So auroracloud.dev will remain as it is. People will be able to go there. It's just instead of spinning up a chain automatically, they'll be reaching out to the team and they'll be getting some support directly from us in engaging that. So they're kind of the two kind of material changes, I would say, in relation to what we're changing. And the reason we're doing that is to ensure we have all of our internal resources available to really push forwards our intents-based products, one of which I will be bringing Armand, our head of product, on momentarily to actually demonstrate and show you, what we're going to be releasing in April. But before we do that, there was one other topic that I wanted to bring up, and that was Trisolaris. So Trisolaris, as you guys will know, suffered from a hack. And we've been kind of conducting investigations there as to what happened. And we've also been looking at the levels of activity. And what we've been able to confirm is, the team are not actively managing it or involved in Trisolaris anymore. But we're also left with smart contracts that can't be upgraded. So there really isn't anything we can do there to safeguard or prevent a potential issue from happening again. So what we've been doing is working internally and working with the teams. And what we will be doing is facilitating the sunsetting of Trisolaris. Near intents now covers the majority of activities that was already available on Trisolaris. But ultimately, as kind of the leaders of the ecosystem, it's our responsibility to ensure that any projects that are live within it are being actively managed, and can be managed in such a way to protect users. So there'll be more information coming out on this over the next kind of week or two. But if you have assets on Trisolaris, you will of course have a window of time to be able to withdraw those assets as well. So they're kind of the material changes and things that we, that we're going to be pausing or facilitating. Now we get to move on to kind of the more exciting components and the real vision that we have for Q2. So what is the focus for us in Q2? Well, bear with me one moment. We have, hopefully, I don't actually think we have it here. No, we don't. But we can bring Armand through to the group now, who's going to take over the screen and walk us through our new product, Intents Connect. Armand, obviously, this is something that we've been talking about for quite some time. So please tell everybody what it is we're building and just why this is going to be so valuable for builders going forwards. Oh, you're on mute, by the way, Armand.
All right. Yeah, so Intents Connect, we're basically building on top of near intents because we realized that there was a lot of demand from not only the cross-chain swapping, but also the end-to-end interaction with protocols. So near intents is doing the swapping extremely well, but what about then depositing those tokens into Aave or like depositing on Polymarket, etc. This is exactly what we're solving with Intents Connect. So in a way, we are bringing like this true chain abstraction that we have been talking for years now in the form of Intents Connect. In practice, that means that a user could use Sol on Solana to stake ETH on Lido, or pay with BNB to deposit USDC in a Morpho vault. Basically, any action that you can think on chain could be done via Intents Connect, and not only just between EVMs, but also with non-EVM. And that's also one of the big USP here that is enabled by near intents. So in practice, I can show you a little demo that we have here that is using Stone.5, which is on a DEX on Ton, to show you how it could look like once we integrate that front-end element. So let's say I want to deposit 100 ton as liquidity, and I click deposit. So instead of just triggering a normal wallet transaction, it would open Intents Connect, which here recognizes my intent. So I want to deposit that liquidity into the protocol. But here the novelty is that I am able to select the balance I want to pay with. Meaning I could connect my Solana wallet and actually use my Sol balance or even my Bitcoin, etc., or near as well. And once I do so, here you can see the route through which it will go through. So here it will take the near, do a cross-chain swap to the TON network, and then interact with the StoneFi protocol. From there, I can just confirm the transaction that I will sign on my wallet, and the whole flow will happen in the background to deposit the liquidity. So this is just one way of integrating. So obviously that's targeted at dApps who want to simplify the experience on their front end. But we're really positioning it as a kind of double way to integrate it. So we have the API that you can integrate in any type of backend products or any more developed integration, or the widget that I just showed you. There's plenty more that we could discuss here, and I'm sure there will be a lot of questions. But I will leave it here and see how people react about it.
No, great. Thanks, Aman. I mean, this is something we are hugely excited about internally here, because it really is kind of the next iteration of Intents, right? Near Intent is already an extremely powerful beast of a platform, right? 15 billion crossed in volume, so far. But what Intents Connect does is answer the question of why are they swapping the assets in the first place, right? And the best part of this is something that will be of huge benefit to multiple verticals, all types of different apps, whether they're trading applications, lending, staking, basically any dApp that has a smart contract or an interaction that takes place within the platform will now be able to leverage Intents Connect, to completely streamline that process. They don't need to worry about having the user swap assets first outside of the ecosystem. Everything can be done in real time, instantaneously in their application. And this is something that we are expecting to see kind of huge volumes for. We've already got a huge amount of interest from projects that were in the process of integrating the swap widget, and indeed those that are actually speaking to us directly on other initiatives. The feedback we've had has been fantastic, and this is really where all of our efforts are going to be focused on now. When will it be coming out, you say? I've been assured, of a release date in April. So you won't have long to wait before you can start integrating this directly into your own applications. And as users, you're going to be able to start using it by the end of April as well. Now, I'll be sharing more news on this in each of the following Alpha League sessions, and no doubt we'll have Armand back here with us as well to share insights, progress, and perhaps some of the key learnings that we've been finding as well. Because this product is so interesting. Every single phone call we're having with a project is literally raising new questions, right? Well, can I do this? Can I do that? This solves this pain point for me. This solves this problem for us. So we know we have a product that is going to be used by a lot of big projects. Now it's just a case of implementing it and really ensuring we capture the widest use cases as possible. And that's what the team are focusing all of our efforts on, throughout April and, beyond in Q2. And again, this is just the first version. Our roadmap is going to keep us busy for many, many months, both on the product side and on our, and on our BD side when it comes to actually implementing projects and onboarding them to Intents Connect. So we hope you are as excited for this as we are. And of course, we'll be sharing more news on that as we go along. Now, I'm just going to go back to the updates now just to share some of the other things that we've been focusing on this week. So, Stellar users, congratulations. You've now got direct access to Stellar liquidity, no bridging, no manual routing, one seamless funding flow. Again, not only does this benefit our Intents widget, which is already live, but it will also, of course, benefit Intense Connect when it comes out at the end of April. So if you're a project that's using this, or if your users were demanding Stellar, they now have it and they can now use it. In other news, we have an update from Hypernest. So Alex was having a conversation with them again about near intense and actually talking about yield. And it's quite interesting because, you know, for the last few years, the focus has been about chains, networks, who is going to provide, you know, the fastest finality time or the highest TPS. But what we're now starting to see is a different conversation. It's no longer about chains. It's about the intents of the users instead. So if you want to find out more about what they discuss there, definitely recommend checking in. It's an interesting conversation, and Alex does deep dive a lot more into the topic. Now, pleased to announce, which is probably perfect timing because Farhan will be joining us in just a moment, but the Near Intense widget is now integrated and live on the Near mobile website, allowing instant swaps across Near, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and 20 other chains. And I think, you know, rather than me talk about this, it's probably the perfect time to bring in Farhan. So Farhan, welcome to this week's Alpha Leaks. Thank you very much for joining us. I can see that there's already a load of questions that we'll probably come to at the end. But before we do, it would be great to get a bit of an intro from you and of course, what Near Mobile are doing.
Hey, Declan. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here live with you. And yeah, my name is Farhan. I'm the CEO at Persist. Persist is the company behind Near Mobile. And for those who doesn't know Near Mobile yet, Near Mobile is right now the largest wallet on the Near ecosystem. It's available for Android and for iOS. And it gives you essentially access to create wallets and to use most of the Near features across the ecosystem.
Oh, brilliant. So what makes Near Mobile, you know, different from other wallets that are out there today, or even other wallets within the Near ecosystem, right? You know, we've got Meteor and 3 or 4 others, I think, although it seems like nowadays you guys are the more dominant force within the space.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things that are involved. One that's very important and very underrated, I think, it's resilience. We launched Near Mobile 5 years ago almost. So when we launched the skyline of wallets on the ecosystem was totally different. There was a lot of other wallets there that are not here yet, or maybe they are not here now, or they just live to other ecosystems wherever. Others have come later, but on our side, we always stick very loyal to the Near ecosystem. Near Mobile, it's embedded in our name. We always try to build and maintain a good product for the Near ecosystem. And I think that's something that's very reliable and sometimes a little bit underrated, but it's something where, you know, Near users can trust. We will be here 5 years from now. The wallet is going to work. It's going to be maintained. I think that's a very important thing. Second of all, it's user experience. We always try to keep a very simple, intuitive wallet. We don't want noise. We don't want contests. We don't want all this craziness activity. Now it's not that trendy, but a few years ago with NFTs, a lot of wallets were integrating that very deeply on them. On our side, we are trying to prepare a tool for a much more mature profile where you just want to create your wallet, have your holdings, your tokens, be able to swap, to change things in a very intuitive way. You don't want noise. You don't want, you know, any other thing. The most important part for us is security, simplicity, and making sure you have everything available when you want to use it. You don't need to be triggered every day to spin roulette or doing, you know, other things. I think the most important one is be like your bank app with self-custodial to the Near ecosystem. And now, thanks to Near, it tends to more than 100 assets.
No, brilliant. Thank you. I mean, you guys are quite an interesting use case because what we have experienced with a lot of the projects that we speak to is typically they go one way or the other, right? It's either the API, you know, or it's the widget, but you actually have both. So you were already integrated with Near Intense. You already providing your users access to the, you know, the 20+ networks that are available. What did the widget do for you? And kind of did it give you a faster speed or any benefits that you wouldn't have otherwise got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. The widget was great news for us because obviously, as I mentioned, we are very focused to the Near ecosystem and to the mobile ecosystem, right? So Near Mobile, it's focused on that. We've been among the first wallets to fully integrate Near intents, and we've done that via API. So essentially, on the app side, we have this primary integration more deep with the API, but also we understand and we acknowledge there are some users that prefer website versus mobile apps. And also we understand that some users maybe don't want to use Near Mobile, maybe they are using other apps, but still they want to do swaps, especially from other ecosystems, right? So this is why we always provide some support of our core features via website. So for example, when we launched our NPRO token and we had this staking feature, we launched staking.nearmobile.app where people can go and stake and earn NPRO even if they don't want to use Near Mobile app. So when we see the intents widget was fantastic for us because obviously as we are primarily focused on mobile, it's a lot of effort for us to build the entire integration via website of Near intents, but having nowadays the widget plus having all this fantastic AI tooling that's out there, we've been very easily able to abstract all this widget logic for Near intents, which is more critical that you guys provide, and then provide other front end with our branding, etc., link it to our website, and essentially have a web version of all this swap functionality attached to our domain, which is quite well positioned. And I think for many users, it may be an interesting discover where they can go here, self-custody, connect, MetaMask, wherever wallet, ledger. It doesn't need to be Near Mobile at all. Perform a swap, and all of this is going to generate revenue for the Near ecosystem. So I think it's a situation very desirable for everyone.
No, amazing. I think you're able to share your screen, right, and actually walk it through what it looks like on the Near Mobile website. So if we just bring that forwards now, okay, perfect, great. So it literally as simple as going to the site, connecting, and off we go.
Yeah, essentially you have like the normal intents swap, right? So you can connect your wallet, you can support all the Near wallets, including Near Mobile, but you can also use Ledger. You can connect here with Hot or Meteor wallet, no problem at all. Or you can connect with any other EVM chain wallet like Cosmos Station, Kepler, MetaMask, wherever you like, and then you can just start finding your pair and swap, or you can deposit. You can keep your assets here and then withdraw, or you can deposit plus swap, right? What we are focusing here is essentially creating a lot of awareness. So we are explaining pretty good how this works. I think the solver networks and the intents technology, it's extremely new for everyone. It's very difficult. It's very easy to use, but very difficult to understand. And while I think most of the users, they just want to make sure it's easy to use, for other users, it's very important to understand how it works, because I think it's also a very valuable thing to show that it's self-custodial, that everything is on chain. I think that's very important. So here we have also some frequently asked questions. And you can see here there's a lot of pairs you can swap. You can swap Bitcoin for all these assets, Ethereum, Near, Solana, Tether. So all these swaps are available. That's just unbelievable. This is larger than many exchanges. And literally all it took for us to build that, it's to use the widget, to bytecode a front end, to attach it to our website. And now we are supporting an exchange that also for users, it's self-custody, it's free, it's free to use, it's secure to use, because it doesn't matter if Near Mobile goes down, everything it's on your wallet. So this is a speed of development and a quality of product that just a few years ago, even 1 or 2 years ago, it was completely unimaginable. And now it's available here at swap.nearmobile.app.
And how quickly what was this completed? Did it take you long to go live? I mean, you vibe coded the front end, you copied the embed code. What was the end-to-end time for you to deliver this?
Well, it depends how good you want to do it, right? I think like the first proof of concept, having like the widget as it comes and a few styles around it, it was probably a matter of 3 days or 2 days. It's pretty fast, depending also on your plan and how many credits you have available, right? But apart from that, Obviously we wanted to keep like quality, so obviously we are using AI now, but our standards of quality are the same. So obviously we wanted to rebrand the entire widget with the styles and the components libraries that we've built for Near Mobile. So all this it's now in place. We wanted to make sure everything worked properly. There was some swaps, some images that at the start it didn't work properly. So we took probably 2 or 3 weeks of testing and refining to make sure the everything was good before launching. And obviously now there's also natural onboarding, right? Because once you launch that, especially when it's too much positioning driving, we have still small amount of users here, but over the time, these links and this website is going to get positioned better, and if it works well, there will be more users. So that's a natural onboarding of users as we keep improving the widget. But so far, it should work very fine. We didn't find any issue recently, so it's very safe and easy to use.
No, that's fantastic. So obviously, it wouldn't be Alpha Leaks without me asking kind of one final question. What's coming next for you guys? What are you working on? Is there anything exciting that you're able to share with those watching today?
Of course. Mainly on the app, we are working in chain abstraction path right now. Obviously, we are supporting near intents, but most of the fees and most of the activities still you need to have near on your wallet in order to pay the gas fees for using near intents. It doesn't matter whatever token you are using, right? So what we are trying to do now is obviously we will keep all the infrastructure on near, but we want to also onboard users from outside the near ecosystem. So what we are going to do is to abstract all these fees with a relayer and create new themes. I think we have a very good designers to build very cool themes for the app. So what we're going to do is to bring themes for different ecosystems and then onboard them. If, for example, if you are an XRP Army member, you can download Near mobile app and get your XRP theme and pay your fees on XRP. Then we will convert thanks to Near intents and pay the fees on Near on the network. But that's a good way also to expand and really apply the chain abstraction thing. Second of all, apart from making it multi-chain, we are also going to support new products as Near intends it supporting it. So for example, all earn products, right now you just swap assets, but while you have USDC, what you want some interest out of that, right? You want some passive, secure returns on your assets. So as these features are coming to Near intents will be coming to Near mobile. Same if they launch other types of RWAs, gold, silver, any stock, all this is going to be also supported on our site. And I think on the website, obviously it was not the plan A, but now things, thanks to the widget, since you guys are going to support this, we are also going to support all this for website. So if the people that's seeing us don't like Near mobile or prefer browser apps, they can still access here and enjoy all these features that we are working on from the website perspective, thanks to the Intents widget.
No, amazing, and thank you for sharing that. So, guys, definitely keep an eye out for future updates from Near Mobile. You guys obviously have been a great partner for us, and we're excited to continue working with you guys as you develop your products as well. Just going to see if we have any questions. So bear with me one moment. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on the Near Mobile questions. I'll cover any general questions afterwards. But we have a question from Alpha. What's the most important update on Near Mobile that we should be excited about? I mean, I guess you've probably just covered that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what excites you, right? I think the abstraction part is very important for our growth. Maybe it's not the most exciting feature for a single user. I think one part that will be very exciting and still underrated will be the themes that we're going to launch. So, for example, before starting doing with other chains, we know like on the Near ecosystem, there's a lot of people that trade this meme coin, the Black Dragon, right? And we have Ilya Black Dragon there. So we are going to launch a theme of Black Dragon. So you will have like your Black Dragon app, and you will customize your icons and your backgrounds and your colors. And then, if that's what you like in a skin, right? You have with BitUgen, so will be able to use that. But maybe you are a Zcash fan, so you will be able to import that. So all these kind of things, I think it will be very visible and attractive for users. Obviously, it's just personalization and customization, but this is a feature that a lot of people value sometimes, and we will make sure it's available there.
No, amazing. And there's another question here from Immortal. What security update is in place for near mobile and near intents to mitigate hacks and exploits? I can talk about obviously the near intent side. So of course, any project that is using the one-click swap API, which of course Aurora also uses for its intent products, is fully secure, through kind of the audits and robust security policies that are in place with Diffuse Labs and with the kind of near intent product as a whole. That is one of the, additional advantages of using one-click swap. You bring and benefit from all of the security. And it's not just security against hacks and exploits, it's also security against fraud and money laundering, because there's safeguards in place there to prevent that. So hopefully I've covered the latter part of that question, but perhaps Farhan, there's something there on the near mobile side in terms of how you also manage security.
Yeah. Well, one thing you mentioned, it's extremely important here. It's taking care with who we partner with, right? As near mobile, essentially, we are the front end, we are the tool where we access all these protocols. But the most critical parts, it's the security that near intent it's taking, right, or the weeds, etc. Right. So I think the party that it's building the protocol, it's the most critical part. I think near intent has done an amazing job there. From our side, although it's more front end and interface side, we do also take some security audits, and now we're also putting in place a lot of processes with AI because there's some kind of a race. I've seen in many protocols where people it's finding using AI tools, they find some security issues. So then you can also put your AI tools to protect the security issues because before someone else is finding them. So we are putting all these operations in place to ensure security more in the day-to-day, and then obviously audits are part of our yearly plans to make sure everything is still working properly, there is no security breaches, etc.
No, fantastic. So I think the answer there, guys, is you're very safe in the hands of near mobile and with near intents. We have a question from Kevlar. With near mobile swaps to over 20 chains, does it now mean that you're a multi-chain wallet?
I think so. Near mobile, it's actually near mobile. It is what it is. So if near has become a multi-chain ecosystem, near itself, thanks to near intents, then near mobile has become a multi-chain wallet. We are the mobile version of what near is, right? If near it's a chain abstraction, it goes in a chain abstracted direction, then near mobile it's automatically like that, and that's extremely true. We've never integrated any single additional chain to near mobile. Near mobile has always been a near wallet, but from one day to another, near intents made near mobile become multi-chain with hundreds of assets, but we've never integrated any single asset that's not near. So this is strictly dependent on the protocol itself, and I'm very glad they take this direction because near intent is extremely successful, and thanks to that we are very successful now as well. So I think that's fantastic.
No, fantastic. We have a couple of questions here from KLK, so we'll quickly go through those. The first one, are there any plans to have other yield generation options within near mobile soon?
Mm-hmm. Yes, as I was mentioning, since we've presented in NearCon this year, we wanted to support different yield options for different assets one by one. So when we launched the theme for Zcash, for example, then we provide some yield solution there. When we go to the XRP community, then we will launch some yield generation options there. The point is that on NearCon, we've got the announcement from Near Intent that they are going to natively support these yield generation options directly on the API. And obviously, they are doing an amazing job. I think there's all the security component that's also very important. So probably we are going to stick mostly with the yield generation options that the Near Intent is providing. Then if we see there's not enough or there's other partners that can do better, maybe we can help them integrate to Near Intents, or we may support it individually on our own. But for now, the plan is to wait and see how Near Intents is doing.
No, fantastic. And do you have any plans to add a sign-in with Apple and Google? It's an interesting one, really, because I know the Near Intents obviously supports passkey. Yeah, what's that looking like for you guys?
That's an extremely good question. So Near Mobile, it's also like Persys, the company behind Near Mobile. It's a huge contributor to Near ecosystem. So we don't only do Near Mobile. For the last year, we take over FastAuth, which was a chain abstraction tool that was under the hood there with more than 7 million accounts created, mostly from the Sweat ecosystem. So during this year, we've built a new version of FastAuth that it's live. We didn't announce a lot yet, but it's live and it's launched, and it has quite millions of users, and it has a shared access. So now you will be able to access with email, with passkeys, with Google, and with Apple to any tool on the ecosystem. It means that you can connect with your Google account to Near Mobile. It's obviously self-custodial because it's using the MPC behind the scenes, so no one has access to your keys per se. But then if you go and you log in with your same Google account to, I don't know, any Near AA tool or to Near Intents, it will import the same wallet. So the wallets are shared, and you will be able to import wallets from one side to another with your Google account. So this is going to be live soon on our side. I think it will remove a lot of trouble for people that it's not backing up mnemonic. Mnemonics will still be available as always, but for new users, especially that doesn't want to deal with mnemonics, they will be able to create accounts with Google and Apple, and these same accounts will be also available in any other D app on the Near ecosystem. So I think that's going to be fantastic.
Amazing. I think that's all the questions specific to Near Mobile. Ferran, thank you so much, for joining me today and for answering the questions. Lots of interest, lots of excitement. Look forward to working with you, kind of going forwards, and of course supporting you as you develop the website and the app even further. So yeah, take care. Moving on, but just to see general questions now, going back to Aurora. I'm conscious that we are quite over time, folks, so I will probably have to just pick a few. There's a couple of questions in relation to Calyx. So are there any new launches taking place in Q2? Just to reiterate what I said at the start of Alpha Leaks today, we will be pausing Calyx as we focus solely on Intents Connect and delivering Intents Connect for all of the reasons that we've already kind of discussed today. Calyx isn't disappearing, but we do not have any future plans launched, not until the market starts to improve, and is suitable, for projects to actually launch successfully, because of course that is why people participate, in these races in the first place. What else do we have here? Craig's asked a question: are token and chain listings on Near Intents targeted towards those with high DeFi activity? Yeah, great question. So that is absolutely one of the components, right? It's about providing access to as wider kind of reach as possible, but it's not the only consideration. So, if you're kind of looking at the order in which integrations have gone live for Near Intents, you'll see it's not actually just based on the size of that network. It's based on a whole bunch of requirements. It could be that a key partner needs certain networks to be supported, right? For example, if only this week, we announced support for Stellar. Well, that's because we have projects that actively need, Stellar within their applications. So yeah, there are a number of requirements really that kind of feed into that. I think we've got time for one more question, which again, KLK, is confidential mode coming to the intent widget? Great question. Watch this space. The Near team obviously only announced confidential intents at San Fran, and I think there's been a few bits that have been kind of fed outwards, and it's now available at near.com. But at the moment, it's just with near.com. Yeah, watch this space. There's not really anything else I can say on that. So look, that's everything, guys, from me today. I am aware that we didn't go through the kind of clash of memes of the week, but I will announce our 3 winners as I was able to check it whilst we were kind of talking today. Congratulations to Immortal, Zane, and Praise. Apologies we didn't have time to kind of go through them all and share them with the community, but I think you'll agree it was well worth it, given all of the insights that we got from the Near Mobile team. So yeah, busy week, lots of updates. Thank you for staying with us. I know we've run over time, but I wish all of you a fantastic weekend. Rest up, and I look forward to speaking to you next week on Alpha Leaks. Take care.